So it's the new year. This is the perfect time for us to reset and really focus on a fresh start for the upcoming year. It's a great time to get re-inspired, re-motivated, and really to just reset our lives and our businesses. This is the time of year where I really like to reflect on the previous year so that I can think about the things that went wrong and make those better, and really build on those things that didn't go as I planned for them to go. And either way, I don't like to get stuck in those moments. So whether things went right or whether things went wrong according to my plan, I like to reflect on them so that we can move forward in a positive direction, having learned lessons that we can take into our future success. As I approach the new year, I like to grant myself the grace that I don't have to have it all together. So that's not what this video is about at all. It's about me being prepared mentally and emotionally to set a plan in place for my success, because you know the saying, if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. And so I like to go into the year with intention. That's the first thing that I like to do. Intention is really important so that you have direction for what you're going to be doing throughout the year. I like to do a word of the year and set my original intention for my year around this specific word. For me, this takes time. I have to think on it, I have to pray on it, and I have to really decide where I want my life to go for that year. So the first thing I like to do is to set my intentions around my word of the year. For example, 2 years ago, my word of the year was audacity, and I truly did have my breakout year in my business because I had the audacity to step up in my greatness and to truly be who I wanted to be in this online space. I had the pleasure of working with many brands, working with many private clients, and it really just was the best. Like, I was able to show up in an impactful way that really just gave me the satisfaction and really helped other people, which is the core of my business. So at the start of the year, I typically like to choose a word and set my intentions for the year around that. Then I'll typically take that word and incorporate it into a vision board. This simply looks like thinking of that word and how I want to see that manifest into my life and creating a vision around that, because I truly believe that you have to write the vision and make it plain. Making it plain is simply writing it out, telling your life what you want it to do, telling God what you would like for him to step up and back you up in. And a vision board can be exactly that. It's simply a daily reminder of the goals that I'm working toward. Now, after I've set my intention for the year by choosing my word of the year and creating a vision board, the next thing that I'm going to be doing is creating better systems, because the systems are going to get me to where I want to be based on this vision board. Now, a lot of times people call these goals, but what I have learned through a book that is really good called the 12-week year, which is what I typically model my goal setting after, is that we set goals, but we never set a way on how we want to get to those goals. But to get to your goals, you have to create action. There has to be motion to push you toward those goals. So in my situation, I need to create better systems to help me to get to where I want to be. Now, that simply looks like me deciding how I'm going to get from point A to point B. What is it that I need to do on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, and on a monthly basis in order for me to get to the end result that I'm seeking. Currently, I do have some systems in place, but those systems are not going to be good enough for me to get to the goals that I have for myself this year. One thing that I can admit, last year was very comfortable for me. I didn't do much in my business. It wasn't a big, loud year for me. I just sat back and really focused on Nakisha and my life outside of the internet, and I was happy with that. I was cool, I'm comfortable. Thankfully, I had passive income streams that was able to sustain me. But this year, I'm ready to step up, jump out, network more, and do just a lot more. So the systems that I have in place now to maintain my very quiet, simple, yet lucrative business are not going to be the same as the ones that I'll need to do the things that I want to do this year. So that's going to require me to do a little bit more. I do use a calendar calendar system in Google Calendar to set appointments and reminders for myself to do certain things. I'm currently using Trello, but I really want to move my planning system over to Notion because I love the way that system looks. I've been watching a lot of videos. So if you all would like to see me do a Notion setup, my actual first Notion setup, let me know down in the comments below. But yeah, I need to get better systems in place so that I can scale. It's time for me to scale. I've been very much comfortable with my one-woman show, but I realized that in order to grow and impact in the way that God wants me to, that I need to have bigger and better systems in place in order to be able to sustain that growth. And the reason why I have not jumped out there to do that is because I just wasn't ready. I was cooling, I was chilling. And so this year the goal is to set up better systems so that we can grow beyond just my one person capacity. So the next thing that is of utmost importance is that I revamp my routine. For the longest, I've been wanting to get back to that 5-6 a.m. wake up time so that I can have the slow mornings that I love. But recently your girl has been getting up at a smooth 7 a.m. just jumping into my day. Being a mother, that means jumping straight into getting the kids ready and preparing them for school. So I want to get back to getting up early, but like I said, this year has just been very, a chill year for me. But getting up early really gives you the time and the space to really focus on the day ahead and how you want to approach the day. And it gives you time to prepare for that so that you don't just get up and your day does you, as opposed to you doing your day. And then I want to make sure that I get my work schedule in order to where I have certain days that I'm doing certain things, certain times that I'm doing certain things. Because when I was at the peak of my business and I was truly growing, or when I was in my hustle season, this is how I got so much done, is that I focused on doing certain things at certain times, and I kind of got away from that as I got more comfortable in my business. But this year I really do want to focus on growth and scaling, and so I need to get my schedule and my work days and my systems back in a place to where my routine can be a lot more productive as well as efficient. Now, my single biggest goal of the year is to focus on my fitness and wellness. This has been something that I've needed to do for the past 2 to 3 years, and I just haven't done that. I started maybe a few months back, probably in October, getting back into the gym, slowly getting back into working out, but it's time for me to ramp it up now. I want to get this weight off. I have about 15 pounds that I'd love to lose before the summer, and so focusing on fitness and my eating habits are going to be really a priority for me this year, just because I want to look good for myself. Because when you look good, you feel good, and you're able to show up in a different way in the online space, in real life, and you're able to just attract so much better to you when you're just in your bag, when you're in your wellness bag and you're in your self-care bag. I just truly believe it brings out the best in you. So my goals there are going to look like showing up at the gym 3 to 4 times a week, at least 3 to 4 times a week, making sure that I'm eating a clean, healthy diet. That is one of my biggest focuses, because I'm sedentary. I'm home a lot. I work from home, and this is my safe space. I don't go out much, but increasing my activity, I feel, is really easy. It's the clean eating part that I take issue with, and it's not necessarily my meals, it's the snacking. So it's going to be really important for me to choose healthy snacks and things that work for my body type, fresh fruits and vegetables, and things that are not loaded with sugar, because sugar is my weakness. This has been my weakness for a while, and I need to kick that habit. I'm definitely going to be doing a cleanse at the top of this year just to reset my body and reboot my system so that I can go into this journey with a clear mind and a clear body. And then in addition to that, just focusing on having a self-care night a week. I think this is something that's so important for all of us. us, but especially mothers. Oftentimes we don't get time to ourselves because we're doing all the things. But one way I was able to get through my hustle season is that I made sure that at least once a week I did something for myself. It could simply be a nice candlelit bubble bath, but it was going to be something that I intentionally took the time out for Nakisha. And that is not something I really do now because I live a pretty quiet life. So peace and just self-care is a typical part of my thing, but I want to be intentional with doing something specifically for me each and every week, because I think that, again, it's going to pour back into my mental, into my emotional, just into me being overall joyful, and so that I'm able to show up. I truly believe that when you're at the top of your fitness and your wellness, that it makes you a better entrepreneur, because this can be very stressful and there could be a lot going on out here, especially when you work in the online space and you have so many messages pouring into your mind and you're seeing so many different messages on a daily basis. For me, it's always been top priority to do my work online and then get off and live in my real life. So making sure that I just show up for myself in that way is going to be at the top of my priority list this year. Next, I'm going to be decluttering my digital space and curating all of my social media feeds. This is something that I was really intentional about at the beginning of last year. I went through and just unfortunately deleted so many people that I was following, not because they did anything, not because, you know, I didn't like their content or anything like that. It's just because I want to limit the number of messages that's going into my mind on a daily basis. I only want to see things that are motivating and inspiring and lifting me up and that are really speaking to me. Next, I need to go through my email. If you are an influencer, you know how many emails can pile up in your system on any given day or month. I have thousands of emails that I really need to go through, unsubscribe from newsletters, respond back to people, delete some things, block some things, and really just get my email in order. When I onboard my next assistant, that's something that I'm going to have her work on, is to help me create a better system for my emails, because I get so many on a regular basis. It can be hard to keep up with, and it's so unfortunate because I get pitched so often that it's hard to differentiate between the real and the fake. And so I have to come up with a better system for that. I'm sure I missed many opportunities because of that, but better safe than sorry. It's so many spammers and phishing attempts and just so many things that happen that I'm like, if I'm not sure, I just let it go. And then the last part of decluttering my digital space is just being on the platforms that feel good to me. For me specifically, there's a certain type of content I like. I like YouTube. I like long form content. I like educational content. I like some vlogs, depending on who it is. And so YouTube is pretty much where I'm going to be. I'm not the scrolly type of person. I can be, but that is so unproductive and I don't need to be doing that, which is why I don't spend a lot of time on TikTok and I don't spend a lot of time on Instagram anymore. YouTube and Pinterest have become my jam because they're so much more laid back and don't require the constant scroll. So a part of that is just ensuring that I'm on the platforms that are serving their purpose for me and I'm not just wasting my time aimlessly scrolling. Because one of my major keys for being an influencer, and I tell my clients this all the time, is that you have to create more than you consume. And if you're constantly consuming, it's going to be hard for you to constantly create. And creating is at the foundation of having an online business. So you go consume or you're gonna create. And I want to get re-inspired, and for me that looks like just getting out and living life a lot more. Again, for me, this was a very quiet year. I'm happy with that, completely happy with that. It was reinvigorating, it was remotivating actually, because I had the time to step back and really just relax. I don't know if it was burnout or just online fatigue, but I really needed that year that I had, because I'm ready to get back out here here and impact some lives and show women that, you know, you can build an online business that can help you and your family and really change your financial situation. So for me, that's going to look like traveling more. I have some events in mind that I want to go to this year. That looks like trying new things that I didn't ever think I would try. Or that means trying new foods. You know, just so many things that I have in mind that I want to do. Me re-inspiring myself through new activities and new people and new spaces, so that I can get that creativity back that I had when I came into this online space. I want to create from a space of freedom and not limiting myself based on a niche or an algorithm or a topic or anything like that. I just want to create and get out here and just share my life and share my tips and just share my perspectives in hopes that it will inspire someone to just get out here and live their best lives too. So that's what my hopes and intentions are for 2023, that I will be able to level up and be a better version of Nakisha for myself and my family and for you, and that you can find something in what I say or what I do that will inspire you to go forward and be great too. So if you're ready to jump on this journey with me, go ahead and click on the subscribe button so that we can get this thing started. I'm really looking forward to this new year. I'm looking forward to all the amazing things that it's going to bring. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.